Hey everybody, welcome back to Plugin Tut, your home for handcrafted WordPress plugin tutorials. It's the end of the summer. It's almost fall. Well, it is fall. It's the kickoff to the new season of the Plugin Tut channel. Generally take a break during the summertime. We're going to start off by talking about the new 2021 theme that is coming to all of your WordPress installs as of WordPress 5.6 when that drops in later October. No demo of the theme to show today because it just doesn't exist yet, or at least at this time of this recording, in any kind of full functionality. But I do want to show off what the designs look like, what the team is thinking about, sort of talk about it, talk about what I like about it, talk about what I don't like about, and just, sort of pontificate of the future of our default WordPress themes. You can go to make.wordpress.org under the core category. You can take a look at all of the stuff that they've posted here. And we can see right here the thumbnail of what the future of the 2021 theme might look like. They also link up to the Figma file. So if you have a Figma account, which you can connect with for free, you can kind of explore all of these wireframes, these designs on what they think 2021 is going to look like as they near completion of it. And you can zoom in and play with these files, probably even leave comments and just see how it's generally built and see all the design aesthetics. If you take a look at the background section of this blog post, they talk about how this theme is based off of, or at least the underpinnings are based off of the Seedlit theme by Automatic, which looked to release back in late August, so not that long ago. And I guess they're pulling some of the parts from this theme. I've never looked at this theme before. Looks decent from a writing and blogger's perspective. Looks clean and pretty clean and as a blank slate to a new website. This line right here, this is the one I want to focus on. Once the theme is stable after beta 1, we'll start exploring full site editing support. This is really where I think the conversation of default themes are going to change in the future. And I start to question, do we need to have newly designed themes every single year for all of these major releases of WordPress? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are below, because with as far as we've gone with Gutenberg and where we haven't even explored yet with full site editing, should the design emphasis, should that subjectivity be, showcased in a theme? I mean, maybe, I guess you can make that argument for it, but I think really the value is ship WordPress with this real blank canvas, this real builder's tool of a theme to build a site. And let's go a little bit further with this discussion. So once we get into the design decisions section, Mel Choice, who authored this and is doing the designs here, highlights some of the key features of why she's doing what they're doing and what they're all looking at, not just her, but the entire team. No extra load time. Let's keep this theme as simple and fast as possible. That's 100%. I thumbs up with you there. This particular stack is pretty typographically neutral. None of the fonts are super opinionated, so this theme can be used broadly across different types of sites. Using one font stack without loading additional font files also makes it easier for folks to customize, create child themes of 2021. I think that's a very technical statement right there. And this is where I'm really starting to, design is subjective. Right, depending on what you're looking at. I mean, this is how people make a lot of choices. They make a lot of choices on which theme they pick, which clothes they wear, what car they drive, et cetera, et cetera. It's like how it looks, how it feels to them. Like, how does it emotionally move them? And when I first see this, I see artist, I see photographer, I see, yes, your portfolio site. It says it right there in the headline, a new portfolio default theme for WordPress. What I'd really like to explore, if this is even possible, are the segments of users using WordPress, especially the segments of users using WordPress for the very first time, where they get this core theme. Like, they install WordPress for the first time. This is the core theme that they work with. My gut feeling tells me, and maybe this is just from my perspective, that that's a small business owner, somebody who has to get something online for their business as the largest majority. Maybe it's bloggers. Maybe it's still bloggers. Maybe it's still people who just want to publish content on their own domain and own that content. If that is, that's awesome. But I would imagine it's most people are doing it because they're motivated to do something to get their business online, get themselves out there, put out a resume, or maybe even photographers, so a portfolio could lend well to this. If this theme continues as as the default theme, like as the designs that we see here, I feel like it's very much opinionated in the portfolio. And the items that Mel points out is that yes, typography is neutral, sure. This can be a customized blank slate for some people. Okay, I agree, but I think a lot of people judge that book by its cover, and you don't think like this is my starting point for building a website. Like just from the mock-ups that I see here, again, we'll bounce over to the Figma page. I'm not thinking I'm building my website, my business website, heck, even my portfolio with this kind of site. I think people really need to have a dumbed down version, or probably the worst word to use right there, but a dumbed down styled version of a blank canvas, and something that really illustrates the building blocks, no pun intended, of Gutenberg patterns, or whatever it's called. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. And then where we're going with full site editing. And that's where I'm wondering, like, when we flip this conversation of, hey, core default theme that's being shipped, you can use WordPress in a new way now. Like, when do we change that conversation from the core default theme encouraging you to do that to the inwards of the feature set of Gutenberg and full site editing? I don't feel like what I'm looking at here is the perfect showcase to that. I'm interested in your comments below, because I feel that the 2020 theme is a great theme based off of Chaplin, which is one of my favorite themes by Anders Noren. I think that's a fantastic theme. Like I see a theme like that, and that was the first theme that really made me think, well, let's see how far Gutenberg has gone. Look at this theme. It looks pretty good. And it can solve use cases for the small business, for the portfolio, for the blogger, and for probably a large media site too. Wondering when we get into this position where there's no more big announcement for a theme, but it's much more about, look what these features can do in any theme. That's the challenge. That's the challenge of the day that I love to hear your comments, comments about below. When we go further into the blog post, you can see some of their color schemes that they're thinking of. Again, I would say that most people are thinking, I need to start with building on a blank canvas. I need to start building a website. Very few of them are going to really think pastel colors unless that really lends into their brand. And I feel for a majority of small business owners, that's not it. It's white. It's a white background, and give me the blocks for me to build this stuff on. Gutenberg introduced support for patterns in WordPress 5.5. It's a perfect time to show them off. I completely agree. 2021 will come packaged with a bunch of unique patterns designed explicitly for the theme. The theme's overall design is simple, so you can make it your own, but the patterns will be opinionated. And this is the hard part, right? Because I think we all fall guilty of this. Like anybody who's been in WordPress for a while, we all know how to use WordPress. We always say things like, hey, this is a great starter theme. This is a great theme to customize anything, like Mel mentioned before about the fonts. But I don't think a lot of people know that. A lot of new users, they have no idea. So they quickly see the thumbnail. They go, no, this is not for me. Right? That's why I think having such an opinionated default theme for a CMS that's so broadly used now is a challenge. It's a challenge. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's a challenge. And if we had more, I guess, data, we could have these discussions. And maybe there's some data in here. I haven't dove into their internal discussions yet. But I would think that if it's a business owner, an e-commerce store, or something like that, which fuses like a lot of things in the WordPress world together, you'd be able to create a core theme that's a little bit more flexible. Not technically flexible, but design flexible. And again, I think when people see this, they might be like, nah, that's not even the theme for me. I'm not even going to bother to look. So yeah, it's got all those customization features, but because of what I saw in that quick little thumbnail, it ain't happening, right? I think for a large amount of people. Want to contribute to block patterns, you have an issue template that you can use to actually create a GitHub issue to help them make more templates, right? So what's the timeline look like? The WordPress 5.6 release as it stands in this recording is it's going to be released on December 8th. So there's plenty of time for this to change. And I'm not saying it has to change dramatically or at all even. I think obviously WordPress has done fine with its opinionated core themes for forever, I guess. But at what point do we stop reinventing the core theme and the core experience? Or when do we start doing annual changes for the segments of users who are using WordPress? Like if you were to picture like Apple, right? They have a whole bunch of iPhones now, a whole bunch of iPads, and some of these iPads that they're still selling and iPhones that they're still selling, it's like 3 or 4 year old technology, and it's perfectly fine, right? The phone works. It does everything anyone ever needs. It's a supercomputer. Even the 4, 5, 8 year old ones are very powerful. So at what point do we get to, or in WordPress, where we just have, 5 years worth of themes that are all just fine, right? But they've all been designed in the fashion of who the user is. And again, I'm not saying that Mel isn't doing that here. I'm just looking at these designs and I'm saying, man, I just feel like 2020 just happened. The 2020 theme just happened. And now I'm already looking at a 2021 theme. Granted, it is literally almost the end of the year, but it's just like, wow, I still think that's a great theme to build off of. And maybe this is the turning point. Maybe what I'm exploring here is the turning point for this. It's enough talking for me today. It's the 2021 theme coming soon, as in December, to a WordPress installation near you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like videos like this, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want more videos coming. It's the fall. I'm ready to record. I'm back. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below. See you in the next video.